And November did prove to be the worst single month for car sales in this country in a quarter century. Sales plunged for domestic and imported cars. General Motors had the most severe losses. Joe Cryer is joining us this morning from LPL Cryer Financial to talk more about the automaker. So good morning to you, Joe, first of all.
Good morning, Stacy.
What do the CEOs have to do to get their way? I mean, did they come to Congress with all of the things that congressional members wanted to hear?
You know, that's a good question. And I don't know that they want to play all their cards just right now, because there's a couple of factors at play here. One is they're still dealing with a Bush administration that they'd much rather deal with an Obama administration. So if they can somehow just limp along until the end of January, then they feel like they can come back a third time and maybe negotiate and get a little bit more of what they're asking.
The way GM makes it sound, or actually Chrysler, they can't survive until January.
Yeah, and
is that true?
It's possible. You know, I mean, this is an entity that is burning through an awful lot of cash, like $12 billion a month just to pay their bills. But, you know, you got to put this in perspective. They talk about bankruptcy as the end of the world and the end of all the suppliers and everything else. The truth is bankruptcy just means, okay, now we can negotiate with the unions and the banks on different terms where we have a judge standing behind us, not just, you know, a bunch more executives behind us.
Yeah, and to answer that, they said that that's exactly what we're trying to do, just without having that official bankruptcy title, because they feel like that will kind of be the end of their suppliers and consumer confidence and whatnot. So you can understand that. Proposals to promise. This is what they're promising. More fuel-efficient cars, lower CEO salaries, lower benefits for employees, streamlined distribution process. Let's talk about those lower CEO salaries. They say, hey, I'm going to take $1 a year. What does that really mean?
Well, it does mean that their actual salary might be $1 a year, but there's other benefits involved. You know, of course, they're not going to be flying around on the corporate jet for a while, but
they still get paid.
Yeah, they're paid, and there's a lot of money in their retirement accounts. If they walked out the door tomorrow, they'd still probably be okay for a lifetime. But you know, what they're trying to do is this sort of humble approach to Congress to hopefully get these bridge loans, and you know, they'll get through to next year, and ultimately, if the companies do not go bankrupt, they'll have stock options that are issued at these very low prices that they can make a fortune on 5 years down the road.
Okay, we've talked about this a lot, what this means for our economy, because we're not Detroit, but we still have a lot of jobs related to the auto market. What do you think might happen?
Yeah, the ripple effect is there. You know, they're definitely proposing closing a bunch of auto dealerships, and there's a bunch more that are going to close the doors just because they're not moving the cars. I mean, this isn't all about auto executives. It's about a slow economy and people that can't get credit to buy cars. So, you know, we're going to see that fewer options as far as dealerships go, fewer options as far as servicing go. So it might be a little bit rough, but servicing on your vehicles here in Jacksonville is not going to go away.
And when you say mixed, for the Southeast employment picture?
It's good and bad, you know. I mean, there's some of the suppliers are going to go out of business, so that would hurt locally. But, you know, you've got Toyota, you've got all kinds of foreign automakers that are hiring non-Detroit workers to put cars together in the Southeast. So, you know, the job base, it could be a mixed blessing.
And the union's obviously a big issue in this negotiation. We could talk another 10 minutes about that itself.
Yeah, they have said that they're willing to make concessions. Their next big round of talks is 2010. So again, you limp to January, and then if they can limp to 2010, the UAW will definitely be meeting them halfway.
All right, Joe Cryer joining us live this morning to talk about the latest appeal to Congress and to taxpayers from the automakers. Thanks, Joe. Bruce